Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm back with another new inventory showcase. Today it is specifically this 2015 200 Series Land Cruiser. This specific example is a two-owner car. It's been in North Carolina since new, very rust-free car. Has just over 78,000 miles on it. Probably would have been in 77 had I not driven it for a few days after I bought it, but that's neither here nor there. So just over 78,000 miles, good service history attached to the Carfax on this car, and overall a really nice, clean, low mileage .2 200 Series Land Cruiser. So let me spin this thing. We'll talk about it a minute, and then we'll look at our monitors and get it outside. So if you remember a few weeks back, maybe a month ago, 5 weeks ago, something like that, I did a video on this Land Cruiser when I got it. And that was just to showcase the kind of the environmental damage, bug damage, rock chips, things like that that were associated to the front of the vehicle. And I think we mentioned in the video we were going to recondition it, get everything painted, and get it looking back how it should look. And so I'm excited to go over all of that with you guys and kind of show the before and after on this, and show you overall just how nice of a car this is. So let me get this thing open. We will cold start it. And we will check our monitors, that is. $78,029 is the mileage. And as you see, we are on a cold start. Let me pop the hood real quick. Nice and quiet like it should be. Secondary air injection just went off. All right, we will do this again here in just a minute when I get it outside, but let me plug up our trusty old AutoZone scanner here. Am I going the wrong way? There we go. All right, so while we're waiting on our tool to boot up here, this is something kind of cool I found in the glove box. This is a emissions inspection where it passed in October 30th of 23. It had 77,292 miles on it, so right around the same miles when I bought it. And you can see it did pass, so that's kind of cool. Less than 1,000 miles ago. That'll be in the glove box with everything else. And there we are on our monitor. Well, there we are on our monitors. All of our monitors are green. Misfires, fuels, catalytic converter, evap, secondary air injection, O2 heater. So this car will pass emissions in all 50 states and is ready to go. So let me, kind of cool because it looks a lot different in here than it does outside. But I'll shut up. Let's get this thing outside, get this door open, and show this bad boy off. All right, guys, so here we are outside in the Land Cruiser. I wanted to start here so I don't forget these. This is something I have forgotten to go over in the past, and that is the windshield. And many of you might be looking like, Chris, we can't see anything. What are you're just showing us out the windshield. Yes, that's true, but that's because there's nothing wrong with the windshield. There's not any rock chips, there's no cracks, there's no pitting, there's no nothing. This thing's in great shape. And on top of that, it is a factory windshield. So there you go. So let's pop the hood. I know we did this a second ago, but this will be a little more in depth here. Everything looks really nice under here. Our aprons are all in great shape. Pump right here looks fantastic. I don't see any no kind of leaking or seeping or anything like that. Do have an original radiator. Good news is there's zero signs of cracking around this little stamp right here, where they will crack and begin to leak. So I mean, I don't see any indications there that anybody would need to worry about. So everything looks really good as it should there. Look at our apron right there. Everything looks really nice and clean. Motor's nice and quiet. Hood pad intact. Stickers. So yeah, everything looks great under here. Sounds normal, as it should. All right, so we will start out here on the front. Now, as I said in the beginning of this video, this is the car that we painted the whole front end on. And I want to go over again why we did that. We just had some rock chips, bug damage, things that you're going to see on a black car as time goes on. And I'm a little anal and want my cars to look a certain way, and especially my black cars on the front. And so we went ahead and painted the bumper, the hood, and both fenders. So the whole front end was just freshly painted. And the guy that I work with that does that for me, I have known over 15 years. He's an older guy, semi-retired guy, and a very experienced guy. Black can be very hard to paint. It can be very hard to replicate texture, and it can be very hard to paint where you're not getting any trash, or you know, just not it making it not look good. And Mickey, the guy who does this for me, who I'm friends with, he is by far the best painter that I have ever seen, and I have been around the business a while and managed a body shop, which he actually worked in for quite some time. Now he works out of his house and takes forever. So, but anyway, so yeah, let's start walking around this thing. We got our fog lights, running lights, and headlight on the driver's side, all operational. Same thing with the passenger side. And we'll have a look at this bumper. So look down the bar here and the lower bar and look at the reflection of the cars going by. Look how nice and just smooth, and there's no texture, there's no cloudiness, there's no nothing going on. That is what you're going to get from the guy who painted this front end of this car. You're going to get a like new finish, and I'm not just saying that. Look how nice everything looks up here as we walk down. Just does an awesome job. Same thing with our fender here. Look how nice our fender looks. A lot of times corners like this and towards edges of panels is where you're going to see imperfections. Look how nice all that looks. So moving on to our headlight. Headlight's in fantastic shape. We don't have any peeling, any fading, anything going on here. Headlight looks really nice, as it should. The grille is in fantastic shape. No fading on any of the gray bars, which will fade on the LXs and these 200 series Land Cruisers. Our adaptive cruise radar is in great shape, not cracked up, not fading, and same thing with our front facing camera. And we will show that off here shortly. Driver's side headlight, much like the passenger side. Nothing going on. It's in fantastic condition. Let me walk you across the front of this hood. Look at my reflection. We'll do this. Look at the Hilson sign. Now, right now, watch how perfect it is as I walk across the hood. No waviness, no cloudy, no spots, no nothing. The waviness you're seeing there is just the body line in the hood, and then we keep moving over. It is hard, I can tell you. It is hard to make a black car look like this. And the cool thing is, for those of you who are familiar with paintwork, there you go, there's a great shot. Look how nice that looks. There's a term in the industry when people paint dark color cars. A lot of times, especially in the custom car world, you'll hear people say, slick it out, meaning they'll paint it, it'll have a bunch of orange peel, trash, things like that in it, and they'll say, just put a bunch of clear on it, sand it really hard, get it really nice and slick. He actually replicates texture. Mickey, the guy that I work with, he will replicate the texture with his clear to match other panels. That's how experienced he is. I've never seen anybody else that's been able to do that. And he's a genius with the black. All paint, but specifically black, because it stands out so much. So moving on here, same thing, just like the other side. Look how nice everything looks on the fender. Now watch as I walk. We're gonna walk, and just as I was just talking about the texture that he replicates with the clear coat, watch how the door, which has not been painted, and the fender that has been painted look identical as far as the texture goes as I walk down the car. So there's the fender and the door, and look how perfect they match as far as the texture. He does such a great job, and whoever buys this car is going to be really happy with how it looks. So moving on, our step bar looks great here. All of our chrome down here, none of it is peeling. Everything looks really nice. Do have some touch up on this side of the car, well, both sides really. I'll kind of go over that in just a minute. No dents, no major scratches, no nothing like that going on. Overall, the condition of the car is a little above average, I would say, for a black going on 10-year-old Land Cruiser. All right, so again, watch the door going into the fender, how perfect the texture is. Look at the car in the background. Looks so good. Left front wheel, nothing going on here. Wheel's not curved, not scratched, not nothing. Looks like it's in great original condition. Do have a nice set of the factory size KO2s, BF Goodrich KO2s, I should say. That's a 285/60/18 for those of you who don't know. And they are tall. So don't need to do anything there or worry about that anytime soon. They look great on the car. Same thing with our left rear wheel. Much like the front, nothing going on with a tall set of KO2s back here. So we will work our way down so I don't forget anything. Rail, really not much to talk about here. It's in great shape. There's no dents, no damage, no scratches, no nothing. This mirror is in great shape. No cracking, anything going on here. A lot of times you'll see water and condensation in there. None of that going on. Front of the roof is perfect. No fading, no dents, no damage. We do have like 3 dents right around here. They're pretty small. Not anything major. You know, the kind of just normal. I'm sure something was up here at some point and caused it to have a dent. That's not worth pulling the headliner down to remove that dent. The rest of the roof is perfect. And really not anything to talk about. Crossbars intact. There again are the dents. Nothing to cry home about. All right, so obviously the fender just got painted, so we don't have any touch up there. Moving to the driver's door, do have some spots here, a few right up here. These are all very little scratches. It's the best way I can describe them in this general area right there, as you see. And what you're seeing, the kind of difference in the way the paint looks versus the dullness, is just the touch-up part. Probably looks worse on camera than it does in person. You have a few that run right along here, a few right above the door handle for scale. Moving on to this passenger rear door, you got some right in this area, one up here. As we move towards the dog leg, and I'm on my knees and my knees are hurting right now. You got a couple right in here, one little short one here on this dog leg. As we come up the dog leg, right on this door edge right here, and we have a couple up here as well. These are all very minor. A few little scratches that run along the top of the door here. There's like one here if I can get it, and one right here. Lighting today is fighting me. Quarter panel, one little tiny one there, tiny one there. Little scratch right here that's been touched up, and another little spot right here. As we move towards the back, there's one scratch right here, and you do have one that kind of runs right here as well on the edge of the quarter. So that's really it, what's going on the side. All things considered, it looks really nice. Not anything major, all normal kind of stuff you're going to see on a vehicle this age and miles. So moving on to the rear bumper. If you've looked at the Carfax, I'm sure you know that there is minor damage reported to the rear of the vehicle. To me, in my experience, from what I'm looking at, whatever it was very minor, and they had to repaint the bumper. So the bumper has been painted. It looks good. It doesn't need to be, nothing needs to be done to it. And we'll show you why I don't think anything more than just something superficial has been done. So the first thing I'm going to look at is this back here. What I'm looking at is where the bumper meets up with the tail light and the quarter panel over here. Everything sits really nice and flush, which is what we want to see. And everything kind of lines up with the lower gate as well. Look at our tail light lines, they're perfect. The bumper itself, again, is in great shape. The tow hitch cover, I should say, does have a few little spots on it that have been touched up. I'll show those to you in just one second. Same thing over here. We're going to look at our gaps. Look how it molds to the quarter panel. Everything looks perfect there. If there's any kind of major damage or anything like that, you typically are going to see some uneven edges, uneven lines, gaps, things like that. Our lower gate is perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no touch up on it. There's no dents on it, no damage. The upper part, same thing. You do have one tiny little spot right there. And where did I see that other one? It was something really small. Well, maybe that was it. I don't see anything else as of right now, so. The hitch cover, you can see there's like 3 spots right there, all very minor. So again, we're looking how the gate lines up with the bumper. Everything looks perfect there. Look how nice our jam, all of our jam in here looks. You will see these that get scratched and gouged up often. This one looks great. Same thing over here. We look perfect right there. We go right under here, and we're gonna start looking at our seam seal. That is a factory flat seam seal on the bottom part of this lower gate. The hinge itself is not bent. The bolts that hold the hinge to the door have not been turned, meaning the paint is not cracked. So these are all good signs that, again, nothing has been done to this gate back here that we need to worry about. As we look through right here, we're going to see a factory stamp and part number on the lower body part of the car. That's a factory stamp that can't be replicated. So if you did have to replace that which is underneath the vehicle, you're not going to get that stamp in that location. You're going to get a printed sticker with that part number on it. So moving along, seam seal looks perfect. Moving to our right side, hinge, it is not bent, it's perfect. Our bolts have not been turned, and our seam seal looks exactly like the other side. So again, if anything had happened back here where it was hit hard and it went into the door, we would have seen signs of that on just what I showed you there. So I didn't really need to go further with it. Just the experience that I have, you know, whatever was done was something that was very minor. And Carfax is really good about determining what is minor, moderate, and severe. And then if we just want to double check and look in our quarter jams, we can see our factory spot wells that, I'm trying to get them, there we go, that run up the quarter panel. And all of these are you're not going to replicate these. You're not also, let me go on this side. You're not going to replicate, well, I'm really struggling with the light right now. This seam basically is what I'm trying to say. You're not going to replicate, there we go, the way that is molded to the body of the car. So, you know, again, everything looks normal and as it should. Carpet back here all looks really nice. Our storage, and we got our tool set. The toolkit is intact, everything is in there. I'm not going to open it for the video right now, so you can get the spare down and change your spare if you need to. Our plastic trim back here all looks pretty good. Little scuff there, little scuffing here, kind of up in this area, but no major gouges or anything like that I would be too concerned with. The seats are already up, as we see. They look awesome. Brand new, as most of them do, from the back side. Our middle row headrest is sleeping where it's supposed to be. So that is there. And if I can get this door open, we are going to, well, let me show you what the third row seats look like before I fold them up. And they look like they all do. New, with your seatbelt indentions. Sweet. All right, so let's fold these up. Carpet's in fantastic shape back here. Don't have any staining, anything odd to report. The back of our middle row seats look to be in great shape. We have our normal indentions going on, which when I fold them here in a second, we'll kind of go over those. Look how nice all of our trim and everything looks on the bottom of these third row seats. The feet that hold the third row seats aren't all scuffed up and gouged. The trim over here all looks really nice. Looks like a low mileage cruiser. Same thing with our trim over here. Never been undone. And there's our factory jack. So again, you can change a spare tire if you need to. All right, moving along. Boy, when black is clean, it is hard to beat. I am way too OCD for black cars, but I know a lot of guys that love them and like to maintain them. And this is a good one to do that with because it's in overall great shape. So if you remember on the reconditioning video I did of this Land Cruiser before we got it painted, there's a pretty nasty scratch that was right along here on the back side of this quarter panel. This has not been painted, so the scratch does still exist, but it is 90% gone. It came out really good. I thought I was gonna have to paint the quarter panel for that, but Mickey did his thing and got it looking good. So as we walk down the side of the car, do have a little minor scratch right here. Do have a few on the gas door right here from some dummy dragging the gas pump around the door. Do have a little spot right here that's just like I'll call it an environmental spot. You barely see it. That's not something that requires any kind of touch up. Do have two spots right here below the handle. Do have one coming down the dog leg right here. A few on the bottom of the door. Again, these are very minor. So if you're looking like I don't see anything, that's because there's not much to see, but I like to point out what's there. One right below this handle. There's one right here. One above the handle up here in this area. And I know there is a scratch here on the right front door. There's one here, and then there's one here. Not big, not anything to cry home about, but they are there. Outside of that, the side of the car looks fantastic. Step bar's in great shape. None of our chrome's peeling on the bottom of the door. Running up the pillar and looking at the mirror, our mirror looks just like the other side. No cracking, no water, no condensation. And then moving up our pillar, just looks awesome. This car turned out really good. I think a lot of you might have heard me say in that reconditioning video that I felt like this car was going to turn out really nice, and it did. So right front wheel, just like the other two on the left side. Nothing to report with some tall KO2s. Left rear wheel, nothing to report with some tall KO2s. How you want it. All right, so let's hit the undercarriage real quick before we start working inside. CD axle, power steering rack, all look nice. Look at our skid plate, 100% rust free. Factory stamping still on it. Everything looks awesome there. Much like the other side, looks great. There is our KDSS valves. Side of the frame is in fantastic shape. Everything looks really nice and the way that it should under here. Oh Lord. Looks like at some time this spare was down at some point, but it is an original spare. Look how nice everything looks under here. What you're seeing there, that dripping, is all the shiny stuff they spray on they spray all in here in the jams when they're detailing it. It gets all over the muffler and all over the fender wells and underneath the car and all that stuff, so I fight it. So there we go with the outside. Start with the inside, kind of where it shines. Look how nice the door panel edge is. There's no repair work, nothing going on here. Everything looks great. Pull handle's in great shape. You do have, if you want to call these light scratches, they're so, I mean, I can't even feel them with my fingernail. Very, very light. And that material that these are made out of is very susceptible to that. So the window works both ways. Yay. Jambs are in great shape. Kick plate looks really nice. Carpet on the side. All of our trim here on the side of the seat. Leather's in great shape. Side of the console looks nice. Our glove box is not chewed up, scratched up, anything like that. Everything looks awesome here. So the seat does go forward and it does come back. And it does recline and it does come back up. We have a working seat. Brand new Land Cruiser carpet mats from Toyota. Carpet under the mats is in great shape. Inside the glove box, you will find a full set of books. You will find that emissions and the factory wire harness for the trailer. Everything looks great up here, much like the rest of it. Same thing here. We don't have any damage, previous repair along our edges. Everything looks really nice. The pull itself does have some light scratching going on right up here, as you see. Same thing, same thing with the window switch. Not anything major. I'll step back so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. It was almost 70 here yesterday, and now it's like 43 degrees. Jam looks really nice. Kick plate, all of our plastic right here looks great. Seat back here is in good condition, as it should be. Back of the passenger seat looks great. Carpet underneath all looks nice. Let's fold this seat down. You have a few little spots right in this area. You're going to see them better from the other side, but that's what they look like from this side. And the bottom of the seat looks excellent. Do have our minor little indentions going on here, which you're going to see on 99.9% of these, but no cuts, no tears, nothing like that going on. Everything is still intact and not a big deal. All right, let me pull this armrest down. All right, here's our armrest. Everything looks good. Our cup holder is intact. Does work as it should, even though it's probably going to break at any given day. Our rear console is in fantastic shape. Toggle through our modes. Everything looks awesome there, works as it should. Look at the top of our console in fantastic condition. There is our DVD screen. Does work. We don't have any fading, nothing like that going on. Door panel edge, beautiful. No scuffing, no, nothing really going on with this door panel either. Do have your minor little scratching going on here. Everything looks good here. You are showing a little bit of wear on this step right here itself. Not anything major, but you are seeing some wear. But the seat's all in great shape over here, much like the other side. And there's our spots right here that I was pointing out earlier. They're covered by the seats, so you're only going to see that when the seats are up. And we do have our normal little indentions over here as well. This one is in better shape than the other side. Not that the other side is that bad. All right, if you're wondering why I'm grunting, that's because that seat is heavy. So if you don't know, for those of you who maybe potentially buy this thing, you'll see. Carpet all looks good under here. All right, moving along. So we got our door panel, much like the others. Do show a little scuffing going on right here on the edge. Not anything crazy. But everything else looks really nice on this door panel. Minor scratching going on the silver trim. A little bit of wear on this kick plate. Not anything significant, just minor wear. Only way to describe it. Plastic bottom part of our seat look great. And the rest of our seat all looks really good. So the seat does go forward, does come back, and it does recline, and it does come back up. All right, so we have a working seat there. Let's hop in this bad boy. Oh, Lord. All right, so we'll hit the cool box first. My scanner's in there. Does turn on. And yes, that air is cold. But again, top of the console is in great shape. All of our wood right here looks really nice. This is faux wood. It's not real wood. So it'll crack, it'll lift, it'll do funky things. All that looks great. Same thing moving along here. Well, Chris, just throw the key wherever you want it. All right, moving along. If I can get this key in my pocket. Cup holder does open, and our divider is intact and works as it should. All the wood's in good shape here on the bottom side. You are seeing some scuffing, scratching going on here on this silver trim. Just from people putting keys and different things there, but not anything major. Everything over here on the multi-terrain select switch looks good. Our shift knob does, this is a good example of what I was talking about, that with not being the real wood. This is what it does. It will chip and flake and peel off, and that's what you're seeing happening right there. But that's pretty common to see, maybe on every third that I buy. So let's mess with these seats. This car has a very neutral smell. There's not any weird odors going on or anything like that in here. All of our piano wood looks fantastic. All really clean, not scratched up. You will see on the chrome right here, right here, right here, and right here that it's bubbling, and it will start to chip a little bit. That's not uncommon to see on these. but I've seen way worse than what this looks like. So this is not anything that I would worry too much about. I don't know what causes it, but everything looks really nice here. Our hazards do work. Obviously the battery and the key, what did I do with the key? There it is. So when you hold the key by the switch, now the key not detected thing is gone. So I'm gonna have to put a battery in this key. So hazards work as they should. Climate control, since we're already here. Let's turn the temperature down. Actually, we'll hit 4 zone, and then we'll turn the temperature down. Front defrost works, rear comes on and works. We're not going to do all that right now. Auto climate control does work. I forgot you've got to manually adjust to get it to turn off. Audio, I'm not going to turn the radio up for copyright reasons, but I drove this car 200 plus miles after I bought it, and I can assure you that everything works as it should on the radio side of things. So we can kind of toggle between all of our Bluetooth audio, video, factory rear entertainment, which I'll go ahead and show you that. I know the screen is down, as you see. So we will just hit power, and it will fold up as it should. So everything works as it should here. Get back, we'll hit, whoa. So we are on AM. Go to FM, etc. So everything works as it should there. Our setup screen. Destination, and last of all, our navigation. Backup camera. Looking good. Front facing camera. Looking good. And this will be our front fender cameras, rear quarters, and back to the front facing. So all is well there. Let's put it in park. And we see that our sunroof is tilted up. We're going to tilt it down. And then we are going to one-touch it open. And we're going to one-touch it closed. Sunglass holder. Spotlight comes on. Spotlight comes on. All right, so our mirrors are actually here. Let me hit the steering wheel while I'm right here. Our blinkers work. Our horn works. I'm not gonna mess with the wipers other than just flick them up. They do come on and work. Steering wheel does tilt up, does tilt back down, does come out to me, and then it does go back in. Steering wheel overall is in great shape. We don't have any cracking or any weird stuff going on the leather or the wood. Everything looks really nice around here. We do have some minor little chipping going on these little plastic buttons. A lot of you I know will hear me talk about that from time to time. You can't replicate those buttons. You can't buy them. So you're kind of stuck with what you got. But that's very minor. I've seen them a lot worse, and not anything to cry home about again. So let's see here. Our mirrors are out. We're going to fold them in. And we're going to fold them back out. And we're going to move the right mirror down, out, up, and in. And we're going to move the left mirror out, in, down, and up, and back out. Heated steering wheel does work. I am not going to spray water all over the headlights because there's no reason to. Rear side curtain airbags, switch. You can turn those off when you do have passengers in the rear. Center diff lock, all engages well there. And we'll engage 4-low here in just a second. I'm not going to go through the diff lock process. It can be a nuanced thing, and I don't have a ton of time to do that right now. So, but I have engaged it, and it does work. So coming up on 4-low, we're going to go into neutral. As you see, we have nothing on the instrument cluster right now showing us we're in 4. So we're just going to switch on over to 4-low, and there we are. You can see the multi-terrain select menu in the middle right there, and you can see me toggling through the different switches, or the different modes. That can be done with our multi-terrain select switch right there. So we are in 4-low. Our camera does come on as it should when you are in 4-low for the front, so you can make sure you're not going to hit rocks or whatever it is you're trying to get over. And we will come back out of 4-low, still in neutral, switch it back into high, and bam, there we go. We are back out of low, and we are ready to go for a quick test drive. So let's do it. Let me put my seatbelt on. And we're off. Let's go put a couple more miles on it. So I like on these drives to listen for any weird noises, drivetrain noises, tire noise, wheel bearing noise, you know, just anything odd. Again, I've driven this car a little over 200 miles, so I can tell you you're not going to hear anything. And it drives fantastic. I have had this serviced at Marietta Toyota in preparation for the sale. They did not recommend anything additionally than an oil change is all we did. And again, you can refer to the service history on this car. Oh, I should have gone, Chris. Should have gone there, dude. Now we're going to be waiting for a while. But love the layout of the .2s. This is my favorite layout. The .3s are cool. I just prefer the piano black wood here. I wish they did it on the trim all over here as well, but they don't. But I just love this layout, the way that they finished it off. And I actually kind of prefer the wood over the silver that they put on the .3s. So, all right, hold on to your horses. Here we go. So look at our steering wheel. Everything is checking out there. We don't have any wheel shake. Our steering wheel is straight. We don't have any pulling going on. Tracking straight. Tires actually feel really nice, probably because they're very new. We're gonna get on the brakes right here real quick. Pay attention to the steering wheel. Doesn't move at all. Brakes feel great, nice and firm, like a Land Cruiser should. And you know, surprisingly, these tires actually ride really good. I have not had great luck with BF Goodrich in the past. They are great looking tires and performing tires. However, if you do not keep them rotated and balanced often, they will wear unevenly. They'll start to make noise. They'll start to chatter, start to make your steering wheel jump around. You don't have anything to worry about here. And the nice thing about this specifically is that, you know, I would rotate these tires every 3,000 to 5,000 miles for the life you have it. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt to do it that often, but that way you ensure, you know, even tread wear as time goes on to preserve those tires as best you can. So again, getting back on the brakes, everything looks great. The steering wheel is nice and straight as far as not doing this or anything when you're stopping. Rotors feel good. Overall, this thing drives really, really nice. trying to look around here and think while we wait on traffic again if I forgot anything. You know, I like and would hope that you guys let me know if there's things you want to see. I actually sold a vehicle to a customer this past week that has mentioned something on 200 Series LXs that I need to do as far as removing the plastic from the engine bay before it goes to detail. That way I can show that off when it comes back from detail, and I thought that was a great idea, and I'm going to do moving forward. So make sure if there's things I miss, you know, I'm not perfect, obviously, and you know, I want to make sure I get what you guys want to see. So but I try to hit everything and not to forget things, and I have a little routine going down, and it works well most of the time. But again, I'm no perfect person here. And here we are. All right, so we're going to back up close to the door here. We're going to show that the rear park assist does work. As you can see, it's beeping and showing us where that's coming from. So it all works well there. So we're going to shut this thing off. I'm wondering if this key battery is going to prevent me from locking it. So we will, I can tell you this car does not have factory remote start. This is a great shot. You can see where the sun is right now. It's shining directly on the side of a black car. If a black car, okay, redneck boy, if a black car was not polished properly, was not cut properly during detail, they tend to get really swirled out. They don't look good when the sun's shining directly on them like this. Look how nice the side of this car looks. It has a really deep black look to it, and it looks great. So again, this car does not have factory remote start, so we won't show that. All the door lock actuators do work, and I hope that the key battery is not that dead where it won't lock. But we're listening for feedback from the lock when we lock it. And there we go. So we know that all of our door lock actuators are working as they should. So that's it, guys. Let's wrap this one up. Again, this is a 2015 200 Series Land Cruiser, just over 78,000 miles on it. Very nice car. We have reconditioned this thing very well, and it came out awesome. So this thing will be for sale in the next couple days. I know I've got a couple guys interested on it, so make sure you reach out to me directly for information, chris@hillsonluxury.com or 678-454-6060, and we'll talk to you on the next one. See ya.